Hello, good evening. Here you are live to the world on the ILFL Soccer Night Show. Good evening to you. Welcome back. I've been away for a week or so, but it's good to be back. Here with my pals Nanu and Shakulu are going to join me this evening and talk about all things from the Inner London Football League. We're going to be looking at the Vets League, obviously. First and second division, which we featured so prominently over the last few weeks. But now we come to the big boys up in the top division, the Premier Division, and two teams in particular, Beaumont and Bromley. Having mixed fortunes as the season's gone on, Bromley seem to have started quite badly, but they got themselves a valuable 3 points against Lotus FC 8 days ago. Yesterday they turned up against Beaumont, who themselves are hit and miss, but look like they're capable of beating everybody. Both teams needed the 3 points to push on and try and make a mark on those in the top three. So who would come out on top? This is a good game. You're going to enjoy this one. Here are the highlights of Beaumont versus Bromley. Hey, blink and you missed it. How many goals did you count? Were you counting all the goals? Listen, we're running a competition. Scores on a... No, I don't mean any of that. 10 goals were scored yesterday between Beaumont and Bromley. 10 goals. Bromley won it. 6 goals to 4. What a game. For a Premier Division game, is that great strikers? Is it great entertainment? Bad defending? Or a mixture of all? I don't know. But Bromley won it 6 goals to 4 and did themselves the power of good in the Premier Division. Let's have a look at the other 2 results that happened in the Premier Division yesterday. They're here on your screen for you right now. So at the top, we see Beaumont losing to Bromley by 6 goals to 4. Hawk and Eagle went down by 7 goals to 3. Another great game. And Tigers, you know, going from strength to strength. Started poorly, finishing strongly. How many times have we heard that before? Or is this just a purple patch for London Tigers? And Reach Out and Stepney, the 2 teams at the top, looking to see who could be the one sitting at the top of the bar come the end of the weekend. They couldn't be separated. 3 goals each. Again, another thriller. So what does that all mean? Well, we'll have a look at the tables in a little while. But first, I'm going to turn to you, Shekel, as Mr. Bromley himself in here this evening. Good evening. You were there for the Bromley game. Yeah. Tell me all about it.
Oh, it was a really good game. Bromley were actually losing 3-1 at half-time. And to come back and win the game is actually another comeback, which was brilliant. Yeah.
So is it the classic game of 2 halves? Were Beaumont great in the first half and Bromley were better in the second?
It was both equal, really. Bromley was struggling in defence. They've been struggling the whole season so far with the defending, but they've changed their attack, and I think the second half, Abdul Hamid did give them a lot of beating in the half-time team talk, and I think they got in the second half and they beat them comfortably. But it was a really good game. 3-1 down to come back and to win the game.
It looks like 3 good games in the Premier Division, Nanu. Tigers, remember we've all been saying about, you know, how they started and we thought, wow, what's going on with London Tigers? Like everybody else in the division surprised them, but look at what they're doing now.
Beginning of the season, when you look at London Tigers, you would have expected they would have been stuttering. That's because they had various reasons to. First of all, the team changed slightly. They had a different manager as well. Started new, he's quite novice. And, you know, they lost 1 or 2 games. But since then, they've actually really improved and they've actually found the winning ways now. It was just a matter of time, really, for Tigers to get things together, pull things in the right places, get all the necessary players in the right places, and start winning the games, and they've actually proven that.
I think it was a good win for them the week before, beating Reach Out the week before. That clearly set them up for the game against Hawk and Eagle now this week. Are they now the team that, you know, Reach Out, Stepney, they've all got to be watching out for? Tigers now the team with the momentum?
It never was a question, you know, there was no doubt that Tigers would ever actually fall down and say, no, well, we you know, hands up, we surrender. That never was the case, you know. They started 1 or 2 games and now they found the winning ways. They're a strong team, they're fully experienced, great players. I like the way they play football. I mean, I'm still a fan of Tigers as well. And, you know, it's one of those teams that can compete at the highest level.
The team that's come up from the first division, the other one, Reach Out now, really, they've got a strong foothold in the Premier Division. A 3-3 draw against the Premier Division champions is a great result.
It seems like they're taking the Premier Division by storm, honestly. I mean, to get a result, 3-3 against Stepney, you know, one of the best teams that ILFL has seen, you know, it's quite astonishing, really. A team that we've only had played in last summer is doing so well. So I see Reach Out staying there for a while to come, honestly.
Wow. Do you know what? Do you want to take a look at the Premier Division table? Here it is on your screen right now. Have a look at how it's all panning out. Reach Out, 3 teams on 13 points, but only the team sandwiched in the middle there in second place, Stepney, have played a game less. So they have advantage at this stage, you might say. But London Tigers, look at that. They've won, I think they've gone now 4 in a row. I think it is now for Tigers. 13 points from 7 games, and it's all looking very ominous at the top and mouth-watering. Behind that, on 9, 8 and 7 are Lotus FC, Bromley, and then West End and Beaumont. I mean, you go down to 7th and you think, well, are Beaumont languishing in 7th place? Well, maybe not really, because they're playing good football as well as the 6 teams above them. Hawk and Eagle are there as well. It's only lowly Leytonstone with a point out of the division, who at this stage look like the Premier Division whipping boys. Would that be fair to say, Nanu, or have they got a sting in the tail?
They do have a sting in the tail. They're just waiting for the right moment to implement it. Basically, they always start early on the season, but unlike SCTA, what Leytonstone have is they have all the firepower on hand. Basically, if they want to, they can bring in players who can make all the difference, but they choose not to at this current moment in time. So they're letting the existing players try and do the job, and if they fail, they'll bring in some of the new players and do that. With Hawk and Eagle, that's not the case. They're using the full strength at the moment, and I believe Hawk and Eagle might be one of the casualties. Just my early indication.
Ooh. There it is. Early season prediction. Let's see where we are come a few months down the line. It could all change. Let's see what happens there. We're going to run through the First Division very quickly. Here are the First Division results from yesterday on the screen for you right now. Look at that. A lot of goals being scored in the First Division, and those teams that we think are going to be, or we thought might be first, second and third in most people's eyes, look like the teams that are establishing themselves there. Seoul Youth smashed 12 past Beaumont Youth, and I think Beaumont Youth, I don't know where their next win is going to come from, to be honest. But hey, you know what? Magic Mike might turn up for your team and score you a hatful. Bowen Burdett played out a 1-1 draw, but then Crusaders, you thought it might have been a little bit closer against the Robin Hood Tigers, but clearly not. Crusaders already showing that they want to be and look like a Premier Division side. 8-2 they beat Robin Hood Tigers by. And Ace, who we thought would be doing great, and then they seemed to be struggling with a few results, and then they went and smashed 8 past Sire. But to be fair, Sire, just like Beaumont Youth, are the team struggling in the First Division. Shax, I know you made 1 or 2 predictions early in the season. I know you are Mr. Predictor about the First Division, and you said 1 or 2 things about the teams in this division. I think you were the first to say something about Crusaders.
Yeah, they've been great. The only problem is I don't think they've had a really good challenge against them. They haven't really been up to against a team that are really, really strong. It'd be nice to see what they have in the cup games and see how the cup ones is if they get a Premier Division game. But so far, I think they're going to just cruise it. They've got Seoul FC coming up soon, so assuming that'll be a tough challenge, and see where they are, where they're going to be.
It could be you, Crusaders. You are the team. We hope to have you on the show very soon to talk about what's going on with you boys. All that will come in the next couple of weeks' time. Coming up in the next section of the show, we'll show you the First Division tables. Second Division we'll talk about, and we'll speak to Nanu about the Vets League and how that's all wrapping up. They've got a cup final going on this week. That and more to talk about in the next section of the ILFL Soccer Night show. We'll see you shortly.